everybody. We're here today on a Secrets to a Free Mind podcast, which is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, on YouTube. And we're here for the show, Secret Scent of a Woman Man, First Friday Lounge. And we're here for the monthly First Friday. Topic is, when did you first present the real you in a relationship? So we have men and women going to discuss their experiences. So who wants to kick it off and share their experience? So what do they feel is the perfect time, or how and when to present the real you?
Well, I'm Michaela. So I think that presenting yourself and the real you should be very upfront and frank with that person. And it comes in phases. You know, it depends on what your needs are. So that's my spiel.
Now, Mickey, when we do present the real us, that means full disclosure, or in phases to what as the relationship progresses?
I think it should be a combination of both as it progresses, because you don't things come in phases. So if, for example, if you say that you don't want any kids, that's being you up front. You're telling that person, hey, 5 years down the line, I don't want kids. You know, so don't come with me 5 years from now saying that you want kids. So saying stuff up front so that they know. So it comes in phases. So if you want to figure out and say, hey, before I want to be with this person, you'll know up front what their needs are, because you'll state them up front. And then as things progress, if you want to go ahead and cut that off later on, go ahead. That's fine. But things come in phases when you're in a relationship, or just in general.
I guess, and that's good. That's good. And I guess we want to differentiate between, of course, we're being the real us. We're showing our real selves, yet how much to disclose of our personal life, because you don't give everything to everyone you date. It's right, all your information. So we want to talk about those things too. Tasha?
It's dependent on if it's a personal relationship or a business relationship. My business relationships, I come off honest and everything off top. My personal relationships, I'm a lot guarded. I do not allow people in my space. I don't care if we have been dating for a year. I still guard it. I like Michaela said, it's all in phases, but my phases is a lot longer because I'm a divorcee, and I was with someone for a large portion of my life that never showed me the real him until after or when doing the processes of getting divorced. That's when I really saw like who he really was, and everything else was like a facade. Like the whole marriage, the whole dating each other, from my standpoint, my facade was I had to please my family, which was my father because he was a pastor. I had to, like, it was very high standards for me. Like I couldn't have children outside of wedlock, and I had did that. So the next phase was if I was ready for that or if I wasn't. My father just told me off top, like I had to get married. So now in the stage that I'm in, I've been divorced for about 12 years, and I'm like really guarded. Like, you don't know where I live. You barely know my cell phone number.
Wow.
Like, it's like really guarded. Like everything that I do with you is out in the public. Nothing is done behind closed doors. Like I'm currently in a relationship that I've been in like a year, and he's never been to my house. Not unless we get engaged or married. That's probably the only time he come to my house. I do not go to his house. Everything we do is out in the open, out in the public, because we're not to that level for him to know that part of my personal life. He knows that I have a job. I think I know a little bit more about his profession and him than he know about me. Like he know me due to mutual friends and family members, but just giving people information, I don't do that.
And that's good right there, Tasha. Now, do you think that depending on the connection with a person, that the next person that comes that you end up dating, does that affect how much you disclose? Now,
Of
I'm not
course.
saying, I'm not trying to say that this now right here is not it, but I'm just saying, does it affect to the level of disclosure?
Yes.
Mhm.
I feel like the person that I'm currently in relationship with, I feel like we have a good connection.
Okay.
I just feel like Michaela said, it's phases.
Mhm.
And the phase is that we're dating right now. We're courting.
Mhm.
So dating and courting to me is a more spiritual based thing.
Mhm.
So if God ain't gonna do it, Tasha ain't gonna do it.
Okay. Okay.
So that's just how it is. And because he is spiritual and he is saved, he understands that. So
Okay. Mhm. Kevin, what do you have to say about that?
So I definitely understand where everyone's saying that, you know, you don't immediately let someone in. I don't know if it's different for guys because up front we may not have that emotional connection that we're looking for somebody to bond with. Now, this is me. I really like to just be me all the time because what I'm hoping is I'm attracting somebody that's like minded and enjoy the same things that I like.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I can get to that point with not just being me out front. So
Mhm.
I mean, I think more guys are probably their truer selves up front,
Mhm.
and maybe the ladies that we attract like one or two characteristics about us,
One or two.
like they can build off of that,
Mhm.
and maybe that man or that individual is not going to change to what you want them to be.
Mhm.
But I think most guys are who they are up front. Like
Mhm.
I always believe if somebody show you who they are, that's who they are. Like
So
I'm
true.
not
So true.
gonna wait for them to change.
Maya Angelou said it best. When they show you who they are, believe it.
Believe
Is
them.
it?
Believe
Believe
it. That's a good point you brought up, Kevin. And oftentimes from the beginning, that's why it's good to court. And I like that operative word court because dating is so relative now. It's so casual. It's still you're meeting representatives that are dating. So, but with courting, you're able to become friends, build a bond. And you're gonna see, they're gonna share. And oftentimes men, they do share what the things they don't like, or if they don't want to get married down the road, or if they don't want children, or those type of things. So we have to listen, vice versa, same thing for women. I think sometimes women can, because we are receivers. We're taught as little girls, we receive doll babies as gifts. We comb Barbie doll hair, and we have a wedding dress for the dolls, and we plan the wedding. So we're caught up in the event and loving the relationship, where we may end up giving up things that we desire and want. And then down the road, when you're already connected, or you're already have a soul tie with someone, because when you bring sex in, and we're just gonna be real, when you bring sex in, it's people think, oh, I'm just strong enough. Things get cloudy. And so you end up trying to make things work out of familiarity because you're so familiar and used to this person being around. That's a whole nother story. So we're gonna touch on that. Now, men, what is your feeling about disclosing or presenting the real you when you're dating or when you first met your wife?
Okay, when I first met my wife, I want to be serious and I want to be, I am what I am. And because, people have a different situation, different background. Some men maybe lie about himself, some men may tell about the truth. It depends on the situation. For me, I like to be fair, so I want her to see the good side and the bad side of me. Return back, and I want her the same way because sometimes you will not be perfect, so you will have some bad side. But
That's true.
somebody they hide it, so they don't want to see it. But until the longer you live, and you will find out.
That is so.
So right, so with my wife, of course, we've been married for 27 years, almost 30 years. We have some argument, fighting, good side, bad side. But for me, I put on the scale. Okay, I don't care about the way she talk. She might be talk, loud, maybe she talk mean, but in the end, did she care about me? Let me see. Oh yeah, she care about me, but sometimes she talk. The way she talks, she make me hurt my feeling, but in the end, she really care about me. She do care about me. That's count. And, like a lot of time when a woman will talk to you, hey, can I get a car? Like talk really in the polite way, like rude, but the way that the way she talk, but doesn't mean the way she act. So I'm more focused on the way she act. For me, same way. Sometimes I have to show her that my bad side and my good side, so we both can understand. That time when I wrote up that poems, that's based on the real stories that between me and a friend of mine. I think you know that man too. His name is John Farrar. You remember him?
Yes, I remember John.
Well, they both fighting. I mean, the way they both have a happy hour, right? So they drink. So they have a little fight and end up in the bit divorce and all that shit. So I told him, man, after you and your wife been married about almost 40 years, just one little accident, you dump all your 40 years of the marriage away. It's not worth it. Even his family told him, divorce that lady. That lady is bad. Divorce her, get away from her. I told him, don't. You guys been 40 years building, don't do it. So that's why I come up with that that poem that I wrote especially for him and for myself too. Even for me, my wife and I, we do have some fighting, and we almost about to get divorced too. But to come to the end, I met her on the scale saying, okay, so we have to think about what did I do. I have to think about myself. What did I do? What did I say? What did I do?
That's right.
So, even because some of the minor things and you can break up your relationship, it's not worth it.
That's true. Now, you said something so vital when you said that at some point you're going to show the real you. I remember my grandmother used to say, the devil can't hide his tail but so long. Now, what do you guys feel about voluntary tests? Not just, as opposed to allowing things naturally to unfold, to see their good and bad. And then some people will set up tests. What do you think about that, Mickey?
Are you asking the other person setting you up for a test to see how you react? Is that your question?
How do you feel about that?
I think that there's two things to this. I think that I will feel some type of way because I don't like tests.
Right.
But I see where they're coming from because they want to know, how do you handle me? Like Ming said, when they get into when he gets into conflict with his wife of 27 years, at some point he's like, does she care for me? I know that she does because she knows how to handle him and vice versa. So when it comes to tests, I'm okay with it. But what is that test? Let's dive deep into that. Right. I don't want it to be a test where I'm deeply saddened or I'm deeply in my feelings. So it just depends on what that test is.
Right. That's a good answer. And also, it could be selfish if you're just trying to focus in on or narrow in on what's the fault in that person. That's all you're gonna get. That's if you're just looking for that. I like for them to unfold naturally, and it's gonna happen. You're gonna see. It's gonna come out. Kevin, what do you feel about that?
I think we all test our partners in our relationships. It's just the intent behind those tests. Like Mel was saying, I like for it to unfold naturally. I agree with it. I don't like somebody to test me because if you're testing me, you already have a predetermined answer.
Right.
So you're setting me up for failure when you're testing me intentionally. Because if I don't have the reaction or the answer that you already are expecting, I'm going to fail. But naturally, it's like I want to go through the test of life.
Right, Kevin. There's a difference.
Just to see how we come through it. It's like we're going to get stronger when we go through things, and I can really see your true response and your true you. But don't test me with the essence top 10 questions for men in relationships because that's a predetermined response, and mine is likely not going to be in that list.
Right. And likely to play along the game just for the fun of it. So, you know,
Right.
and you're not getting a true answer.
And then at that point, you're also I'm going back to that question. Do they care for me? You know, if they're purposely doing it and it's hurting your feelings,
right?
And it's how do they handle? You may just want to exit at that point. They are purposely hurting you.
I love it, Kevin. You said that word, intent. That's the bottom line. That's the underlying factor for me, and the intent of things. Yes. Even and men touched on. Even if, as far as the conversation styles, he touched on that even if a woman or man talks in a mean fashion, it's all about delivery too. We can say, and in your body language, you can say things and say it mean. And typically when people off break speak harshly, abrasively, that's a personality form, style of delivery, defense mechanism. So Tasha, what do you think about the test question?
I feel that, like you said, that it needs to unfold naturally, but I think tests have a lot to do with trust. If you don't trust me, then you will test me. If you trust me, then the test don't have to come, because whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen anyway.
You guys are talking today. Okay, so let's take it up a notch. Now, when you do meet, now everybody, we're all grown, so we've had some dating experiences. When you have met some representatives, as it were, how did you? And some funny stories. And I will say this: I have no regrets. I thank God for the training ground, even when the ones that it didn't work out, or you it was nothing to begin with. It's good training. You learn a lot about not only other people, but you learn a lot about yourself. And in order to move forward in life, we have to grow. So, Kevin, but in the early days of when you're finding you, how did you send a representative, or, you've always been real. You always have been 100%. So, but in your first dating of get to know, especially someone you wanted to impress, what was your scenario, an example of your dating?
That I wanted to impress?
Yeah.
I watched a lot of older couples growing up. My grandparents, their friends, their relationships. So I was around a lot of older guys. So I did things that was probably not common for my age group, but I got advice from older gentlemen that were in relationships, had been there, done that. So I did things trying to get a long-term character evaluation for somebody, right? So, when you're younger and you're dating, you're looking at those things, or spending time with somebody, going out, for a movie, or going, to a dinner. And a lot of times it's monetary costs that's associated with that. And I thought that was so much of the norm. So I was trying to do things to get a different result from somebody, not, what I can do for you or what I can spend on you, but this is more of my character. So as opposed to, early on, you trying to make sure somebody get flowers, or you go, to the movies, or you got to dinner, and I got to be let me get that. So I didn't realize that most people didn't respond the way that I thought they should respond, by showing that you're trying to court them and take care of them and present, as a man should. I started to watch some of the older guys, and the things that they would do is like, you get in your car and you got a receipt from Jiffy Lube, right? I want to see the response from that, because to me, that's preventive maintenance. That's showing that I'm thinking long term and trying to make sure that you're taken care of on your travels. That was the type thing to be like, can you appreciate and recognize that? Right. Because if I don't get a certain type of reaction, and I'm thinking about this relationship long term, then if you don't recognize the importance of that little effort or that gift, but you're always caught in the now, then I already feel like I'm not going to be able to build something with you, because you're looking for the instant, constant gratification back and forth, and I'm trying to see what our future looks like. Right. So I'm testing, but not, a desired outcome, but I'm testing of what this looks like long term. That's the type of things that I felt like early on in my dating, some of the things that I tried to do to see if this was a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good, Kevin. I like that. And I can pretty much say everyone on the panelists today are old souls. And so we're way before our time. And a lot of times as younger adults, we might have dated people that were in their time. Their minds were still developing. And we're thinking long term, as visionaries. So the equilibrium was not in line there. We're not aligned. So, and I think moving forward, can everyone agree that we're working to align in relationships? So let's go around the virtual room and share a tip on what do you think would be a good idea when you're, first of all, there's a difference between, you're just hanging out with friends, or if you're looking to build a relationship with someone. What's a good tip on presenting the real you?
I think you got to be you. Like you just have to be you. Give them you up front all the time. And I can appreciate that now because I'm older. Mm-hmm. But I just look back at the past relationships, the amount of time that it's taken me to get to the one now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you don't want to waste that time of not really being you and who you are and who you're comfortable with. That's right. And attracting your opposite. And it's like, I understand what women are. I feel like I do, but I'm like, y'all just got to be you and let us either appreciate it, comment on it, or move on. I think you'll find that you won't waste a lot of time on somebody that's just not your equal.
That's right, because you have to stay true to you, regardless if the person goes or you walk out. You still have to be true to you. Like you said, Kevin, you may try to be, if you don't be the real you, you're going to attract the opposite of what is not you. And it's a whole chaos right there. That's good.
Yeah, if you don't like wearing heels and makeup every day, I understand there's a need for it when you starting out. But if that's not you every day, I want to see what you look like without the eyelashes, without the foundation.
Right.
I want to see, I want to see you, because if we're going to be together, that's not the person I'm going to see every day if that's not really what you do.
That's right. You want to see that scarf.
I want to see the scarf. I want to see the tracks out.
That's right. That's right. I believe in that.
Yeah, get comfortable.
That's
right.
Get comfortable. That's right, because we're gonna get. Yeah, it's real life. It's real life.
Yes.
I love it, Mickey.
Stating your needs up front, piggybacking off of what Kevin said. Stating your needs up front so they know, and seeing you in different settings. Kevin said he wants to see you in that bonnet. He wants to see you when the tracks are out. He wants to see you when the makeup's not on.
That's right.
Stating your needs not only just, visually, but also stating your needs, like I said at the beginning. If you don't want kids, say that. If you want to have lavish vacations, say that. Mm-hmm. If you are more of a tomboy and you are not the person to dress up every second, say that. If you say you want to be in a serious relationship from the beginning, say that, and then continue to have phases where you're confirming that with that person as you're going along. Don't say it at the beginning. Say it at the beginning, but affirm that at the beginning. And then later on, continue to have checkpoints as you go along.
Mm-hmm. That's good, because you need to upfront, so you know whether to exit, whether they can, allow them to exit. So you won't be so so tied or so used to, and we get so, a lot of times I've heard women say that I'm used to hearing their texts on Monday and Wednesdays. I'm used to being with them on the weekends, but some people are afraid to be alone. But it's good to be alone to replenish you. So definitely, when you do enter another relationship, you're not bringing no baggage. Also, you're able to present the real you. Men?
Okay, for me, let's go back to the testing. Living this world, there's a lot of testing around us. When you facing with the real issue, so you don't have to create a test for yourself, even your wife, me and my wife. So I have to be myself, to be honest with myself, because whatever you hide something, the reveal of the truth will come out. Mm-hmm. When the truth coming out, it's getting really bad, and you, oh shit, I should not do that. I should tell my wife about that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I might tell her the truth at the beginning. I might get a little truth out. If I hide, if I lie to her and then I tell her the truth, when she find out, oh man, I got a bad thing going on. So back to Kevin, let me just say, okay, you would rather tell the truth up front.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have a little bad thing, but you know, not too bad.
That's the
And
foundation.
beyond that, you know, we've been dealing with the testing every day, like the job, the relationship, family, and all that. So we don't need to give a test now because the test we already have a test,
That's true.
and we've been using that. We've been doing that. So either I would rather tell the truth at the beginning. I might have a little hurt, then wait later on we get a bit slammed my head. Then it gotten bad.
You can avoid all that chaos.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Tasha?
That's what I say.
That's exactly what I was about to say. The truth will set you free, and what you see is what you get.
That is true,
That's just
honey.
it.
That's it right there. That's another hashtag.
What you see is what you get. It's not. I'm not a big makeup person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big dresser all the time. I love to be comfortable.
Yes.
So don't expect, you know, some flamboyant person, because that's not me all the time.
All right.
So I give it to you the way that I feel comfortable. So that gives him the opportunity, or, you know, to make that decision up front if that's something that he's interested in.
And
I
for
don't
you to-
have like this fictitious world of expectations of men. I do the same thing. What I see is what I get until I project that I want to see something different, or I want more. The more I want, the more I will seek after. But if I'm just trying to fill you out, then, you know, we don't even have those type of conversations that, you know, if I like you, then I like you. If I don't like you, then I'm just not going to waste my time. That's just how it is with me. And what you see is what you get. And if you tell the truth, then you might have longevity. If you don't tell the truth, then it's just quits. Call it quits. Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact, as I was saying, that you said they can make a decision, but also you can make a choice too.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We have the right to make that choice. I love it. Hashtag truth set you free. Tell the truth. Oh, I enjoyed you people today. I enjoy good grown folk talk, real talk. And also, not only these times, I find that we're also edifying other people, but we're edifying ourselves and each other, because we're learning, you know, regardless of what we go through life and we experience it. And when we vocalize what we're experiencing, stream of consciousness, we truly learn, and we're forever learning. So goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.